About a month ago, I went head-to-head against an automation AI and ChatGPT built car to see which one was better. Recently, I applied to get approval for Google's own AI software called Google Bard. I will use their program to build a car based on what it tells me and compete against the ChatGPT car called the Nexa Aventura. Hey guys, it's TRIZE here, and currently I'm on the Google Bard's website right here, can you see for ChatGPT, the main screen, where you're prompted to put whatever response that you have put here, or whatever you want to put here, let's put it that way. So the process of how this thing works, just like I did with the ChatGPT video, is I currently got a script here, basically a build list to be exact on here, from like the type of body, make and model, car color, chassis, type of engine, materials used, VBT, VVL, RPM, and all that stuff on here. So what I'm going to do is to copy everything in this here list by hitting Control-C. Well, first Control-A to select all, and then Control-C. And in the Google Bard's prompt menu right here is I hit Control-V to paste it, and we click on Enter to see what this will give me right here. So it appears it's doing its magic right here, and did it work? Sure, here is a made-up economical gas vehicle from 2010. It's a sedan Toyota Prius. We're making a Prius? View other drafts. What? I could pick 3 different drafts, like versions of this? Oh, you can. Oh, that's cool. So no matter what, it wants me to make a sedan, calling it the Toyota Prius, that's white, steel, a monocoque chassis, longitudinal. These two are transverse, and number 2 is longitudinal. Are they all hybrid? 1.54 cylinder hybrid, a pure hybrid. Oh no, engine displacement, 1.8 hybrid. 107mm bore, 80.5mm stroke. God damn. So I think what I'm going to do here is to randomly generate a number between 1 out of 3 to see which draft I'm going to select for my car build. So select a random number from 1 to 3. What's it going to be? First draft, the second draft. View the others. 3 to 2? Huh? Give me ratios and another 2. Wait, I can't go back to the draft. Oh, damn it. Well, time to regenerate this, and hopefully I can get the second draft, no matter what it's gonna generate right here. Okay, so I regenerated a list here, and all of a sudden, it wants me to make a Toyota Echo. Okay then, and for the first time in red, not just white. And still 1.5 liters, aluminum forged, harmonic damper, and a cam profile, 240 degree intake, and 224 degree exhaust. This is not what I've given. No, I never gave this. What do you mean? It's 0 to 100 no matter what. Springs and lifters, 1 to 25 to 1 ratio of a hydraulic lifters. Smortic of automation is like in version 6 where it has stuff like this, but no. No matter what, I'll probably give this a try to see what this is like. So I might as well pick this car that we got here, some wonky ass subcompact sedan we got going here. And like Google Bard said, it's going to be a steel panel material with a unibody type of chassis, aka a monocoque chassis also made out of regular old steel, with the engine placement front transverse, with the front suspension a McPherson strut, with the rear suspension is a torsion beam. So for the engine, if it's right up in here, inline 4 engine made out of aluminum, okay, with the bore set, it's set to 79.5 millimeters. With the bore set to, stroke set to 81.5 millimeters, which it's not a 1.5 liter, it's a 1,680 cubic centimeters or 1.6 liters. So Google, you're the stupid one for not knowing the displacement size of this particular engine. And it's a 16 valve dual overdue cam, so it's a dual overdue cam, 4 valves per cylinder, also made out of aluminum. So the crank cowl rods and pistons, looking at this, the crankshaft material is just forged steel, with the connecting rod material, aka the cowl rods, just forged steel only, so lightweight, I guess? The pistons, just pure aluminum, like forged aluminum pistons. Let me see here. Forged piston is made by stamping a hot piece of billet aluminum in a die at high pressures. So it's an aluminum alloy. Well, cast here is just a cast aluminum and silicon alloy, poured into a mold and cooled and machined to a precise finish. I believe to be consistent with the sake of aluminum pistons, let's just keep it at a forged, and the balance of mass harmonic damper. For the compression, it says it's set to a 10.5 to 1 ratio, and cam profile and springs and lifters, I don't know. All I do know is that there's VVT for the intake and exhaust, so intake only? And there's also a VVL profile 100% at 2000 RPM. I think that's how it goes. With the RPM limit set to 6000 RPM, so one click down from the default value of 6000 RPM. And it won't be turbocharged because it never gave it any parameters to have it turbocharged. So for the fuel system, it's just fuel injected. Let's just multi-point. I guess that'll work. And it uses regular 87 fuel, well, technically it's AKI, so regular fuel, aka 87 fuel, or 86 AKI. And finally, for the exhaust everything, so for the headers, it's a tubular mid-type of header with just a single exhaust. Dual exhaust, we can only get single, which is this guy right here. With the oh my god, the diameter set to 152.4 millimeters, which equals to 6 inches. Damn, this thing will be a screamer out the frickin' factory, so what about the catalytic converters and mufflers? Oh, there's a standard 3-way catalytic converter, and the mufflers just baffled first, second, none. And, oh no, we got an earthquake right here. We're having an earthquake. So currently, the horsepower rating is 126.1 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, and a torque rating of 117.9 pounds-feet of torque at 4,700 RPM. And let me see if I can fix the cam profile, the springs and lifters, and probably the type of fuel system, like exactly what kind of fuel system that's needed here, so we can get like a much better and more accurate result of this AI-generated car. So doing a simple number generator from 0 to 100 twice up in here, so the cam profile will be set to a 72 with the springs and lifters set to a 42. So automation, 72 for the cam profile. Are we making this worse? I think we did. So from changing the cam profile, now we're idling at 1500 RPM, so 42 for the springs and lifters. We're getting a little bit of pop. We were. 125.7. Damn. That sucks. So for the fuel system, back to Google Bard, I gave 4 choices right here, including 7 other choices for like the compact, standard, variable, performance type of intake. And it says it wants me to use a multi-point electronic fuel injector with a performance mid-intake. So like it says, performance mid-intake, okay, it is. Now we gain quite a bit of more horsepower, but almost 78 with the loudness factor. This thing is a definite screamer. But hey, it's a fun car premium, a regular fun and fun budget car, I'll give you that. So let's really see how loud this engine is right here. Hey Google, how can I make my engine quieter? So continue on the rest of the car build, the car in general. So the drive type, it says a front-wheel drive with a 5-speed manual transmission with the top speed set at, oh my, estimated top speed claims 145, but I can't. It says we'll be limited to 100 miles per hour with an open differential, and for the tires, we'll do this right here, which they're all-season tires, so just choose radio with hard long life, I believe. This is pretty much like all season. What just popped up on my screen? I don't know, but the tire width are both set to 185 millimeters for the front and the back up in here. We're running on some 15-inch rims, and for the rim or tire diameter, right? Yeah, tire diameter, it's also 15 inches, so I gotta translate this to inches. So the tire diameter must be 381 millimeters if I'm correct. Let me change my automation settings to inches real quick. Yeah, this is in inches, the 23.6. Double checking. Yeah, this is inches. This is right. So just do this. Pretty much, it's going to stop me at like what? 20 inches. It's going to stop me at 20. This is going to definitely break the game and all that stuff with the tire diameter and rim diameter being pretty much even. I might as well just keep it at about a 19.7 inch rim or inch tire diameter, which that equals to a 500 millimeter diameter tire. Yeah, 500 millimeters, so it wants us to use just regular old steel rims, and for the brakes right here, let's see what they say. Up front is a 2-caliber piston, 2 piston calipers at 270 millimeters, so I believe they're solid discs. So 270s, which is almost maxing these out. And the rear is a single caliper piston with its size set at 254 millimeters, so 255s, I guess. The front brake force percentage, oh no, 60%, this is gonna suck. And the rear at 40%, this is gonna double suck, watch this. And for the under tray, it claims that we don't have an under tray whatsoever, with the brake airflow percentage set all the way up to 100%. So we got a significant amount of speed and engine drag up, but you're basically just general drag with this car. And for the interior of this car, I'm not going to do an interior build because, well, I never generated to have an interior yes or no with this system. So it wants us to use 5 seats, so a 5-seater car, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, full-size seats, with a standard type of interior with, it says here, AM/FM radio with CD player with an auxiliary input jack. So let's see what its standard infotainment is. So it says here it's a mid-range in-car entertainment system to 2010s. It consists of 4 speakers with 2 dashboard tweeters, a stereo AM/FM radio, satellite radio, CD player, and phone connectivity for portable music players and hands-free calling. So the standard infotainment, it is. And for the safety aids and all that good stuff, so for the steering, it requests that we should use a manual type of steering. It's just manual. We got a choice between a recirculating ball and a rack and pinion. So it wants us to use a manual rack and pinion type of steering. So rack and pinion it is, and for the safety aids, ABS brakes, traction control, and electronic stability control. So just ECS, which also includes traction control and ABS brakes with this package here. And the safety standards, it says meet with all applicable safety standards. So a standard 2010s safety standards. And finally for the suspension. So the type of springs is standard springs with the damper set to just hydraulic, which is gas monotube? Let's see. I mean, hydraulics are a form of fluid, and twin tube is just the thing itself. Oh, the outer tube is a hydraulic oil reservoir, so I guess twin tube it is? With the type of sway bars, it just says front and rear, but not these 4. It appears it wants us to use an active sway bar for this car. Okay then, I was kind of thinking it wanted us to use active because it's so biased towards the best, the more expensive stuff, so active sway bars it is, with the type of suspension preset set, oh no, to my front dick fell off. Let's try out the comfort setting, let's see here. Nope, still bad. The front tires blew out, try increase the tire width and rim size. So changing these to 14-inch rims helped out, but 15s, they don't work whatsoever. I think they will work in automation, I'll probably check this out. Oh, I can't export the car until this is all fixed. Oh man. So the first thing I'm going to change in this program is probably the tire diameter here. So the lowest is 500 millimeters for the tires. Let's see here for the tire diameter, like maxing this out. What's the max value? 680 is the max value. I'll probably do it between 500 and 680 for the tire diameter. I'll do that first. So 540-ish millimeter tires. Fair enough. Okay, so it does work now with this new tire diameter rather than jacking this all the way down to 500. I know it's pretty goofy having it set up like that. I think I might as well just keep it like this. I'm not going to change the rim diameter whatsoever. Keep these at 15-inch rims. This is our big culprit, was the tire diameter, and we just cured the problem just like that. Can we export the car? Yes, we can, but not until now. Because the first thing I'm going to do before exporting this car is to design it as so, with the rear of the car, sides, back, and all that good stuff before we drive this car to BeamNG.drive. So I'll give you a time-lapse design of me building this car from the ground up, which will commence right now. So for the design of this car, most of the general design didn't take that long for me to create, except for the back end. For the front, I added this fairly basic main grille with a painted trim piece inside the grille to replicate the real Toyota Echo. For the headlights, I added some LED daytime running lights that go from the middle of the housing and bend over to the ends towards the grille. I also added a couple of halogen bulbs and turn indicators, along with a large combo grille fixture with a Michigan license plate, seeing that there are a few American license plate mods in the game other than California's. Onto the sides, there's not much. I added some semi-modern door handles and side mirrors. I also included these side indicators indented into the car's body and some plastic side protection strips. For the back end, this is where I struggled for some time to come up with what kind of taillights I should use with this car, as I've never used this body before. Well, first, I designed the Toyota logo like I did with the front and placed the Echo model name branding below the logo, just like its real-life counterpart. After deciding for 10 to 15 minutes, I decided to use these ones that conform to the trunk and rear quarter panel body lines for the taillights. And just like the headlights, I added some rear daytime running lights and complete with 2 brake lights, turn indicators, and reverse lights, along with a third brake light above the Toyota logo. After wrapping up the back end, I painted the car red as to what Google Bard told me to do so. So after getting everything done with this build, here's what it came out. This is the 2010 Toyota Echo. It may be weird for Google to name a car based on a real manufacturer than coming up with a random name on its own. Anyways, will this AI-generated car topple the Nexa Aventura, aka the ChatGPT car? Alright, so I finally got this what-if next-gen and knockoff Toyota Echo completely done up in here, aka the Google Bard AI-generated car. And before we jump over to BeamNG.drive to go against the ChatGPT car, despite our only 5 problems we got with this car build, such as low brake force, the short gearing reduced the car's top speed, the rear ride frequency being quite low, the low capacity being quite low, and a lack of power steering, let's jump on over to BeamNG.drive and go against the ChatGPT car. So here we are at the highway portion of the map of the automation test track with the Toyota Echo, quote-unquote Echo, that we got right here in our face with this huge exhaust pipe and our cammed engine right now. So the first thing we're going to do is drive this car by doing our basic performance test with this car and comparing it to the car behind me, aka the Nexa Aventura, which is the ChatGPT car. So for our basic performance test that we're going to be doing here, the first thing we're going to be doing is a 0 to 62 acceleration test, followed by the 62 to 0 brake test, and lastly, a top speed run with both vehicles. So let's start the 0 to 60 with the wannabe quote-unquote Toyota Echo, starting now. Accelerate. Damn, this is loud. So 6,000 RPM, third gear compared to the Nexa Aventura is 7,000 RPM, and 0 to 62 in 9.90 seconds of 526.43 feet. So the brakes, as we're in 5th gear, brake. Watch the wall, guardrail, this is risky. 62 to 0 in 3.21 seconds, okay, of 140.71 feet. So a 3.21, 140.71 feet. Not the world's best in terms of distance. It's kind of mediocre in both mainly time and distance. Now let's head over to the Nexa Aventura to do a 0 to 60 and 62 to 0 with this car, and then top speed run with both cars. So the Nexa Aventura, let's go now by accelerating this bad boy to do the 0 to 62 with this wannabe Seat Leon type of back end with a mixture of a Volkswagen Golf on the front end, and 0 to 62 in 8.57 seconds of 460.44 feet. So a distance, well, a time of about 1.3 seconds, goodbye Toyota, a 1.3 second difference between the Toyota Echo and the Nexa Aventura of a distance of roughly 60 feet difference, roughly. Now the brakes, let's hit the brakes with this bad boy as they kind of lock up, and 62 to 0 in 2.66 seconds of 105.36 feet. So compare the difference between this car and the other car. So a 321 with the old Toyota and a 226 with the Nexa. So about a 6/10 of a second difference and a 35-foot difference between the two cars. So I'm guessing that the Toyota is going to be struggling with this one compared to the ChatGPT car. So for a top speed run, let's start off with the Toyota Echo right now and see when it'll reach its top speed at 100 miles an hour. So we're in 5th gear. The estimated top speed in automation was 140 something miles an hour. So top speed right here. I should put a marker down to see where the top speed is for the heck of it. Alright, so I spawned a traffic code as a reference when we compare it to the Nexa Aventura. So let's crash out this guy as we reach top speed. So a little bit of oversteering. So crashing this pole right here, full speed. Damn, brutal ass hit. So we got the car rested as so right here, and the engine still runs. Just how? It was a 100-mile-an-hour collision. It shouldn't do that. Now the Nexa, let's see how long it takes to reach its top speed right here. So another good 0 to 62 at 8.6 seconds, and I believe we got 6 gears. Yep, 6 gears? Yes, we do. So we're gonna come across the cone, and it will... Nope. Let's see. Top speed. Alright, so I marked a Nexa's car right here with this cone up in here, so let's crash into this bad boy to see what's it like again. Crash the ChatGPT car. I might as well use like the little distance engine is dead thingy-majig and see the difference between like that cone over there and the Nexa's cone of like a distance of like how long it took to reach its top speed for both cars. So lining up to the bumper of the first cone, let's reset the trip computer right here, and let's just measure the distance between this cone here for the Toyota cone and the Nexa cone just straight ahead. And slow it down just a tad. We gotta line up right up to the front bumper. We gotta do so very carefully so we're accurate as possible. And bumper, here. 156.1 yards. Let's translate that real quick. So that equals to 468.3 feet for the distance between the Toyota cone and the Nexa cone. And for the heck of it, if you're like overseas, you know the metric system, that's 142.73 whatever meters. So yeah, more than a 450-foot difference between the Toyota cone of reaching its top speed versus the Nexa cone right here of reaching its top speed by over 450 feet. So let's do a time trial run and compare both vehicles here. Let's stay on this map and do a time trial run right now. So here we are at the handling circuit portion of the map here. We'll be doing just only 2 laps with a rolling start. And I believe I'm just going to only do the Toyota Echo, seeing that I already have a time placed with the Nexa Aventura when I made that video a month ago. I believe it was like a 2:38, 121, 2 minutes 38 seconds, 121 milliseconds was the time I got with that car. But I don't know about this car because, well, it's the first time of me testing it on this track and in this video. So let's get ready to start here and ready, go. That was a piss poor first gear, a clutch drop. So let's see how agile this thing is. Not too agile compared to the Nexa, where that thing was like zippy through the corners. See right here, 185mm tires and a comfort suspension. I don't think we're gonna beat the Nexa time. I mean, that thing was like zipping through the corners and just like coming out of the corner exit speed like the fast in, slow and fast out method. Like cornering was just like superb. ECS, God damn it, let's turn off ECS. That was terrible. This is why I kind of hate ECS with a passion, where it's just like it holds you back big time. Like the ECS, like, hey dude, stop accelerating. I know you're okay, but stop accelerating. Like, why tell me to stop accelerating when I'm in a straightaway and everything's all under control? I might as well just turn off ECS and make this test like pretty much unflawed as possible with the driver aids that we got here from what you just seen back there of how ECS tried to stop me. At the crest sign, 52 seconds. I think with the Nexa car, I got like 44, 45 in my other hand seconds. That was pretty wide, but we got another lap to recoup that loss. So not cutting a corner like the video. A 1 minute 31 second, 614 millisecond time we got here for our first lap. I doubt we're gonna get a good second lap to beat the Nexa Aventura. Well, there's always hope that we could beat it, but let's figure it out. So across the line is a 1 minute 30 seconds, 673 milliseconds, and we did not beat it. So our total time is 3 minutes 2 seconds, 287 milliseconds. So the Nexa Aventura, I'm not gonna run this again. It stays in first place of a 2 minutes 48 seconds, 121 milliseconds, but it does beat it by roughly 10.2 seconds of the automation AI generated car, the Hawkeye Idol GLX, which was basically like a wannabe Buick Encore Opel Mocha type of build with that kind of hatchback that automation generated for me. So I'm happy that we got second place and beat the Hawkeye Idol, the piss poor automation car. So let's crash this out at a moderately slow speed and do so very slowly. Like that, I don't even care that it was a mediocre kind of crash. So for the final part of the video, let's drop this bad boy down to the good old leap of death to really leap this car, this wannabe AI generated car, the Toyota Echo up in here, and pretty much drop this down to the abyss where it belongs. So let's take it to the top of the mountain right now. So here I am at the top of the mountain, faced by certain doom with this ramp ahead of me, so let's accelerate right now at a 10 miles an hour, 20, 30, and so on. So what's our exit speed on the ramp? 51 miles an hour. Did I seriously just bottom out in this car? I mean, we got the comfort preset suspension of what it gave me at automation, and right between the seams. Oh my god. I'm going to slow this down to 50 times, so I might have to do 100 times. Let's see. I think 50 would do it. 32, 16, let's do 32 all the way. No camera, just right between the seam. in the pinch, in the bottleneck. Let's do 16 to 8. Nothing interesting. Go. Engine is still running. Let's slow this down to a 4. Jesus, full time. Let's just full time it all the way for now, seeing that we're going pretty slow and really slow up in here. Interesting, interesting. Are we gonna reach to the bottom of the pond, this little lake at the bottom? Impact detected, stopping car. Roof impact. Our engine's still running. Let's just go right now, please. Accelerate. Let's just live here. I thought we were going backwards. So the engine is dead. As we can see, the engine's currently doing some ninjutsu stuff as it tries to eject itself, but it can't because, well, it's just like that and splash through the pond, the lake, whatever you call it. There goes a tire. We're still going through with no restrictions whatsoever with the water and all that stuff, so no resistance whatsoever, no friction. Basically, no forms of physics slowing us down in the water, which is pretty weird. Let's go to flat land and inspect this car further. Alright, so I dropped it off with the node grabber up in here. We got oil starvation yet again. Let's just rightfully ignore that as we put this upright. So here is the engine, our beautiful 1.5 according to Google Bar, but in reality, it's a 1.6. Which, Google, you're stupid for not knowing your displacement size. I mean, does this look like a 1.5 to you? No, it doesn't. I mean, I just said it. It's a 1.6. So we got our front half shafts completely exposed. We got the car in general, some loose polygons. Probably has to do with maybe the collision and the node grabbing techniques to get this flat ass on the left side and the rear end. Weird. Anyways, the car's a mess. That's all is there to it. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the quote-unquote Toyota Echo, aka the Google Bard AI-generated car. So if what Google has generated me with this 1.6, not a 1.5 liter inline-4 engine making right around 126 horsepower, well, power-wise, it is pretty legitimate for an engine like this with being naturally aspirated. But with how it performed and everything, I mean, it performs okay despite having this goofy-ass exhaust at the back end, like a 6-inch exhaust. But in terms of like the acceleration and handling and everything, with the acceleration, average like an average car. The handling, average like an average car. The brakes, average to below average compared to an average car. But unfortunately, it did not beat the ChatGPT car, aka the Nexa Aventura. The Nexa pretty much beat everything compared to this car. It beat it in top speed, in acceleration, in cornering, handling, the time trial run at the Automation Test Tracks handling course. That car did pretty much everything better compared to the Toyota Echo. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any videos like this in the future. So this is TRIZE Rising Up, and signing out.